Hello and welcome to Tuesday Night TerrorVision. Yes, those soothing sounds in the back. This song, I'm like, I'm going to do a flamenco gimmick and fucking start using this as an entrance.
Yeah.
Like, this is fantastic. But we are reviewing Blood and Lace from 1964 tonight. But before we get into all that, we are joined this evening by not only our guest, but Mrs. Co-host Trina from Real Hara.
Hey, what's up? I'm happy to be here. I'm looking forward to getting into this review. And hello again, J-Man.
Hello, thank you for having me.
Glad to have you back, man. J-Man, our guest of honor tonight, he's the one that kind of steered us toward the Giallo movies, and these are fantastic. I'm just going to say, so we started with Tenebrae, and
Yes.
then we went to the Bird with the Crystal Plumage, both Dario Argento movies made 10 years apart, correct? It
Yep,
was
something like that.
70 and 80 around that time
It
frame.
was like his first movie and then his like seasoned veteran kind of movie.
Which were both fantastic. This is a Mario Bava movie, which I wanted to get into the Bava movies because I'm a huge Friday the 13th fan. And ooh, there it is right there. Hang on, let me blow you up there. Nice.
With this weapon, this is a great weapon.
Yeah.
But I know I was hoping that we were gonna see like he was gonna use that more. You know, I was like, oh shit, like, and it right to my head it flashed to Jason Voorhees with just some random fucking thing he found. It's like, this looks good, just jams it into somebody's forehead. Like that was, I like it. I like that aspect of it. But this was released in 1964. What up, Tree Rock? Yeah, I was just swaying. Gangsters don't dance, we boogie. I was just kind of swaying with the flamenco. No, but I was gonna do for my entrance. This is wrestling reference, but I was gonna do a little crip walk Saturday, but I didn't have time. When I do my next solo single match, I'm gonna throw a little crip walk in with my my entrance. Just throw a few little steps in to tease it for when I bust it out before I hit my fucking finisher. Yeah, I'll crip walk before I hit my finisher. Take my bandana off, swipe the shoes and everything. I'll go full on with that shit. I don't care. Yeah. It'll be freaking hilarious. But no, so Parrot Head's here. What's up, Parrot Head? Tree Rock. Good to see you guys. Good to see you. Yeah, thank you to all our channel members, all our patrons out there. If you're not on Patreon, you're missing out because $2 a month gets you one movie commentary every week. And Tony and I have been doing match breakdowns. We've done a couple of them, and we're going to add another one very soon. We just did Too Cold Scorpio versus Chris Benoit from WCW Super Brawl 3. That is one of my all-time favorites right there, that match. And we had a really good time breaking that down. So there's the Patreon right there. If you're interested, patreon.com/wrestling with horror 420, $2 a month to become a brain buster. This week's upload, if you're wondering, if you are of the inquisitive nature, is Miami Connection from 1987, which we recorded last week. The entire Hatchet saga is up there now. We have
nice.
Yep, Hatchet 1, 2, 3, and Victor Crowley.
Yeah.
There's every Andy Sedaris movie is up there. There's a lot of good stuff, so go check it out. A lot of horror. I know we did Dr. Giggles last year, Friday the 13th Part
awesome.
5. Yeah.
Friday the 13th Part 5, the best movie of all time.
It's good. It's so good. It grew
First one I ever saw.
It's a fucking fun movie. I like that. But Joe Dog, what's up? Good to see you. Good to see you. All right, so let's see here. We're going to talk here about Blood and Black Lace, but to do that we got to let's see, we got to play the title card. I love. Okay, so let me first talk about the score in this. The score in this is fantastic. It really is. The music, but then there's parts and scenes in the movie like during like areas of tension where the score just drops out and there's like no music, and I'm like, oh, you should have kept it going here to like heighten it. It's reminiscent of like if you watch Halloween, without the music. You know, that's kind of that feeling I got. And it was just in a few scenes where it was like, why would they cut the music out there? Like, they have the tension building until it just stops. And it's like, but it's still going out. The events are still unfolding. So them not having that on just was kind of, it was odd to me. But I didn't dislike it. Didn't dislike the movie at all. I was like, that's kind of an odd choice. But this is from 1964, which I believe most of Bava's movies fall between 60s and like early 70s. I think it wasn't
at least the awesome ones. You know,
is really good stuff.
Yeah, Bay of Blood and all of that, and then he did like the Hercules, like he did Reg Park Hercules movies, which I love. There's two Reg Park Hercules movies. One of them is in the Haunted World where Christopher Lee is the villain, and it is awesome. It looks like this, all colorful and weird, but it's Hercules.
Are those the ones with like the stop motion, like giant things, or were those the
no? Oh no, that's Lou Ferrigno.
Okay.
Those are the ones absolutely brilliant.
Those are the ones I saw as a kid.
Yeah, I've got every theatrical poster for both of those movies. I'm on VHS, DVD, Blu-ray. If they do 4Ks, I'll get those for sure.
Oh my god, yeah, those
are fun. Great.
Those were fun. But no, this was it was I want to say abstract almost at points. Trina, what were your thoughts on this?
Yeah, so initial thoughts, I like the thriller aspect to it. I always love that. And I like the way that they did the killer in this movie. He reminds me of The Question from DC Comics.
Yeah.
And I love how it has that old the old style like a Dick Tracy type of like that kind of movie. I did enjoy it.
It's like The Blank looks like almost like Madonna from the Dick Tracy movie.
Yeah.
Well, it doesn't have all of the. This is the second. The first Giallo movie is Mario Bava, but it's The Girl Who Knew Too Much. The Girl Who Knew Too Much. John Saxon's in it, and it's black and white. That should be available on YouTube for free to watch. I went with this one because it's in color, and I think this one has. It doesn't have everything, but it has the guy. It has the killer with the hat and the gloves.
Trench coat.
Trench coat. It doesn't have the out of town person who's trying to solve it. It doesn't have that. It just has the detective who's trying to solve it. Obviously 64, the gore is not going to there's not really going to be anything. It's not going to be any like Terrifier bits or I thought there's some decent, I hadn't seen it in a while when I rewatched it for this. I was like, it's actually a little bit more, I don't want to say gorier, but than I thought, like with her getting the face burnt and all that. I was like, well, that was pretty good. So there's, a couple of jumps. It's not like the full hardcore, but you can see this is the very, very, very beginnings of it. Like weird stylized colors and camera angles and I love the red mannequins.
Those look cool.
It's just like, are these like really there? And you got the mystery of it, and there's a little bit of a twist, and a little extra thing at the end. And I like that the killer's revealed, and there's still 25 minutes left or something. You're like, oh wait, what, the killer's revealed? It's revealed to the audience, right? You're like, hey, it's that guy. But then something happens, right? So
I was surprised at that. I was surprised at how much time there was left to the movie after the exposition.
I was like, man, they kind of jumped the shark there. That was I thought that was a bit early.
It's super early. Then it becomes a bit of a film noir. It's weird. It's like this because now all of a sudden you've got the couple. It's like Double Indemnity or any of these. There's a bunch of these kinds, where now they're kind of against each. Well, they're with each other, but then they're kind of stuck with each other. But now they're kind of against each other, and you're like, okay, this is kind of neat, right? Like, it was a little bit of a twist. So it's not exactly, it is giallo. It's technically a giallo movie. It is the proto. This is the very beginnings of it. You can see that someone comes in and extracts certain parts and then builds upon that, right? So there'll be more deaths. I think the translation of this title, originally it's called like six, it literally says like 6 deaths or something. Like it's literally translated into something that tells you, oh, there's gonna be 6 murders, or whatever. I call them. I should have the Wikipedia up for it. But yeah, so it's something like that. It's like it's the 6 something deaths. Yeah, okay, sit on the 6 Don per Laciano. I don't know. So I'm sure I butchered the crap out of that. But yeah, so it's like it means 6 women for the murderer is what it is what it means. And that's from Wikipedia. I didn't know that on my own. But yeah, it's telling you, okay, there's gonna be 6. So you're like, wait a minute, there should be 2 more coming up, right? Where is it?
Well, that's like the original. It's funny. Another parallel to Friday the 13th with the Mario Bava movie. The original Friday the 13th, they basically showed all the was it the original one or the second one? They showed all the kills basically in the fucking trailer. They're like, 1, 2, 3. You know, it's like, what the? You're giving the whole thing away. Like,
yeah, they lied in that trailer. They made it 13, but there ain't no 13. There was 9. It's like and I remember saying, "Oh, there's gonna be 13." It's like because they showed guys going, "Oh," but then that they showed some of the fake out ones where the guy doesn't die or whatever.
Yeah.
But yes, I remember that 1, 2, 3. Oh my God, they're all good. And you're like, okay, you know, whatever. They're telling you that. Friday the 13th is a whole different thing. They're just telling you, we don't care.
No.
Just come watch these idiots get killed off by this psychotic.
Yeah.
You want gratuitous violence and some nudity? Boy, you're in for a treat. We've got exactly what you're looking for. But no, this, I saw the 6 women for the murderer thing when I found the thumbnail, when I was getting the movie poster for it. Because it says it right on the one poster. It says 6 women for the murderer on the one movie poster I saw. So we start out with our good friend Isabella.
Yeah.
Which
bitch. No.
Yeah, Isabella's kind of a little trollop, to use a synonym here for another more derogatory term. But yeah, she's a trollop, and she's the first one to get offed here. She's messing around with the guy that runs the antique store.
It's he's and then him and the girl who do the fashion. So it's like you're whatever he is. I don't even know what that. I don't. It's like he's the owner, but it feels like he doesn't do anything. So he's the owner. He does nothing. He lets his people do stuff.
Yep.
he's the owner. Yeah.
I'm the best delegator. I'm sorry.
Yeah. He's a good delegator. Yeah.
I'm a good delegator. The best delegator. I delegate bigly.
Yep.
Couldn't help it. But I thought the opening was cool. It was a nice lead in. And we're watching it, and I literally, the wife and I are watching it this afternoon, and I was like the Leo meme. As soon as I see it, I was like, "Oh, trench coat!"
Yeah.
I was like, "There's the thing."
There's the thing. Yeah, I know that thing. There's the thing. Yeah.
He's got the trench coat. They show the trench coat, the fedora, and the gloves. And you see the mask, and you're like,
"Yeah,
that's pretty cool." I was like, "Oh shit!" Like, I was
I love that.
Is that Rorschach?
Everyone said something. See, Trina knows the old school comics. She went. Rorschach is based on the question.
Okay.
She went for she's the OG.
I went with Rorschach.
She went with Rorschach. Yeah, that's the Alan Moore creation to substitute for the question because they wouldn't allow him to kill the question.
Okay.
But yeah, no, and it's funny too because that mask is for the audience. This is one of these things that a lot of these filmmakers do, where the benefit of having that mask. He's going to kill her. The mask is only there because the audience is watching the movie. Otherwise, why would he need it when he knows he's going to go and kill her? It's not like he's going to kidnap her and let her be. It's like it's only there for the coolness of having it, which is an interesting, because like in Bird with the Crystal Plumage, that she didn't have any mask or whatever, right? And then then they cheat by later having the mask on someone else. Spoiler alert, for a movie from 1964, there's more than one killer. And the mask is there again. And you're like, hey, it's like, again, you don't need to wear that mask. It's for the audience benefit. I think that's kind of fun. The filmmaker's like, this is for you guys so that you don't know who the killer is. Because, like, you know, technically, why would you really need it? He's not disfigured or anything, right? Like,
yep.
But yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, and like every kill he makes, there's nobody around to see him. So, yeah,
Right.
he could be totally disguised.
Yeah, like it doesn't really matter. But you know, I like the shots in the beginning going through the sign. The sign's broken, and you know, and then they're doing the fan forward through the sign. That's kind of neat. And seeing all the ladies and everything, all the pretty ladies. We got to have the pretty ladies in these movies. Yep. I don't think they didn't do it. Was there nudity in this? No, I guess there wouldn't have been nudity. No, there wasn't any nudity.
No, there wasn't. Not a stitch. Yeah,
that probably would have been too. That probably wouldn't have even played. Then maybe that wouldn't have even played in theaters if he had gone to like 1964. I don't know what you could have actually have done, because I think this played like in theaters. Like this would have been like. I mean, I don't want to say it's like going to be like Terrifier, but some of the stuff, it's like, you know, they're going really slow and then boom, right in the face with that claw weapon, which was pretty awesome. Was that the first death? That was the first death, right?
No, the first death was the strangulation.
Oh, the strangulation.
Yeah, that was Isabella. He choked her and like smashed her against that tree.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, that was pretty good. He's like pretty active. Like, and he's dragging her around. I was like, oh, okay. Like, he was pretty, well, she was the only real death in the storyline. Like, he really only had a grudge against her.
Yeah.
This entire plot gets effed up because of the diary.
Yeah, like she was blackmailing people and stuff.
Yeah, it sounded like she was extorting money.
Yeah.
Yeah, blackmail, extortion, like she was a piece of shit. Like, let's be honest. Isabella was a piece of shit.
She was like a drug dealer and everything. Like she had her own little business going on.
Yeah, and
an entrepreneur.
It's weird because the victims of her villainy became victims of the guy who like really had to kill them out of convenience, because the one girl got the diary and then she hid it put it in her purse, but then someone else took it. So he killed the girl thinking, oh, you got the diary. And it's like, oh, I don't have the diary. All right, well, fuck. Now I got to go kill the person that really does have the diary. You almost like, it's weird because you're following the killer a little bit more. And you're kind of like, well, shit, I found myself getting excited to see, like, is the killer going to escape from this? Because it's like, especially if you've seen it once and then you know that Isabella is not she doesn't deserve to die, obviously, but like, she's not a good person. Whereas Bird with the crystal plumage and it's like innocent, completely innocent women are getting killed for no reason other than the person's psychotic. This is like, not that she deserved it, but she had it coming. She should have, watched herself, blackmailing these people. And then it's just a shit mess after that. Like, gotta kill her. Oh no, this guy knows her shit, and I gotta kill. Gotta kill this person. Oh, this person might know. Oh, got it. Then it's got captured. He got arrested. Well, if the killing stopped while I'm arrested, that'll be obvious. So okay, we gotta kill someone else to, continue that on. Like it's a super mess.
Yeah.
Yeah, it got very intricate. Like, as far as like the chain of who's gonna die, and it's like you have to, it's like, okay, what exactly did this person do that would constitute them being? Oh, okay, the one was funny because we've been watching Walking Dead, and he shoved her face on that freaking like wood stove or whatever it was.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, it's Negan. Oh no, because we just watched a movie of Jeffrey Dean Morgan and like Mads Mikkelsen, where it was like set in the Old West or something, and Jeffrey Dean Morgan was the bad guy.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
What movie was that?
I don't know. I just saw like from the middle to the end of it.
Oh, awesome. I used to love doing that as a kid, just randomly. I watched Phantasm 2 starting, not never seen part one. And the first scene I saw was Reggie putting the guns together, the two double barrel guns to form the four. And I was just like, this is awesome. What is this movie? And I just watched the whole thing. And then the tall man wins at the end. I was like, what? Like, I was like going out of my mind. And this is when I was a kid. There's like, where's the TV guide? What the fuck movie was that? I got to find the TV guide. You know, my grandfather threw it in the garbage. Like, where's the TV guide? Oh, I threw it out. It's like, shit, get it back. It's like, I couldn't figure out. I was like, oh, Phantasm 2. I was like, that was part 2. And then the next weekend I went on a massive hunt to find Phantasm 1. But anyway, I love seeing from the middle.
Incidentally, Trina and I reviewed that entire series, which it's up that's up and available on the horror reviews playlist out there, and as is J-Man and I ranking the Friday the 13th franchise.
Yes.
That's up there as well. So Phantasm was fun though; those were good movies.
I love them. I love them all. I love them all. Even 5.
5 Ravager. Oh my god, that movie was such a mess.
It's a mess.
It is such a, you can tell that was so pieced together.
Yep.
Like that was so just cobbled together. It was like Rise of Skywalker cobbled together.
Yeah. Except Rise of Skywalker is abysmal, but
yeah. At least Ravager is enjoyable.
Like I sat next to the tall man and watched Phantasm 4 in the theater. So kind of hard to not love that one with Don Coscarelli next to tall man next to me, and then Don Coscarelli next to him, and I was like, "This is the greatest thing ever." So I'm trying to watch a movie I've never seen before, but they're right there.
That's fucking awesome.
That's awesome.
I'm taller than the tall man, and Etep, you're even taller than I am. So I'm 6. I think I was like 6 feet or whatever at that time. Maybe, and so you're even taller. So you're way taller than the tall man. Jesus. I was like 2 or 3 inches taller than him, and that means you're like 6 inches taller.
Yeah, I'm 6'3".
So you're like 6 inches taller than the tall man.
See, they could redo the movie. I can be the new tough boy. I can do it. I can do it. We can do it. We can do it. Let's make this happen. I'll be the new tall man. I don't need lifts in my shoes like Bobby De Niro either. So Isabella dies, and then we're kind of we're introduced to basically our main cast at that point. And speaking of tall people, the inspector, the main detective, that motherfucker was he was towering over everybody. You normally don't see that in movies unless it's like a henchman or a goon or something. It's like he was a big ass authoritative dude. I'm like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah. He was, and it was like, it felt like it was like, was he going to be the killer or something? Like at one point, because it's like, how is he he's so tall and imposing, and he's very serious, and it's like, okay, I've got to get this, this done or whatever. And it's like, all right. But they didn't have the outsider, right? So it's one of these, this is before that trope. So this is really just a detective story with a few kills, right? But with Mario Bava's kind of art direction of all of the weird coloring and I have this on Blu-ray and it's on 4K and it's hard to find it. The 4K I missed out on, and the Blu-ray looks amazing. I know, everyone can watch this off of YouTube, and that's kind of how you can see it. And it would have been nice, if I could have found a better version, but it is what it is, because it looks awesome. Like even on Blu-ray, on the big TV, it's like, wow, this looks really good. 1964, you're like, damn, this looks pretty damn awesome. And just the visuals of it with all the weird colors and there's literally scenes where it's all purple. It's the whole thing's purple, or and the women with their hairdos, and each girl looks completely different, has different kind of style. And it's really neat, how they're going around, and I like how when the girl becomes the killer, her style is different. She scares, she sets up the body to scare because she can't physically take on the people. So the other guy just went right in and just went for the kill, but she had to be more crafty about it. That was kind of neat too. So it's again, a lot of that panning up, they're walking up the stairs, and they pan up from the behind and come around. You could see all of these shots by someone who's really experimenting with this kind of, feel and camera angles and all that. And you're like, it's just neat. It's just like a neat kind of movie that's weird that, you wouldn't have really seen too many of, I don't think, in the 60s. But yeah, that was kind of the cool parts about it.
No, I like that. Yeah, the cinematography, like I said, that theme of like the abstract.
Mm-hmm.
You just perfectly like exemplified that point with what you were saying there. That's it. It's an experimental type camera angles and shots, but it worked with the movie because the entire movie's kind of like that. It's like it kept. I like it because it kept you guessing, which is a very cool thing with a movie like this, because you as the audience, like, you want to figure it out, but you don't want to figure it out too soon.
Right.
You want to have that aha moment during like the climax where you're like, oh, like, or maybe right before then where you're like, okay, you've kind of got an idea, and then it's verified when the movie finally reveals itself, when the evil finally reveals itself.
I like that it was not a line of dialogue. It's usually in these movies it's like a line of dialogue or something. This was a visual cue of the notebook, because in that one scene the killer throws the notebook out, has a little fleur-de-lis on it, a couple of fleur-de-lis.
Yes.
Yeah, wasn't that neat? And he writes like, where is the diary? Or he met right, and then later it shows you that. So
in the version that you guys watched, what did it say in that notebook? What language was it in?
It was in English. So I'm watching it off my Blu-ray, and it was in English.
Okay, so I watched it on Plex, and it was written in I think it's German.
Oh,
I'm
right.
pretty sure it's German. Yeah, so I had to translate it, but the shot, I love it because it's just kind of like they have the notebook just sitting there, and it says, well, in English it says, where is the diary?
Right.
And it's just like, that is the screenshot, like just like that. And I was like, that's an awesome screenshot right there. Like, I just loved the way that looked.
Yeah. And again, it's one of these audience benefit, because he could have just went like, where's the diary? He could have just spoke or whatever, right? But it's neater that way. There's like the mentality, the reason why these are neat, because the mentality of filmmaking is a different thing. You're in a different country. Mm-hmm. Their mentality is like, the screen is the world. I've literally, what's the Man with No Name trilogy? Sergio Leone. So his theory was, the screen is the world. So right now I'm here, we're talking. So all of a sudden, if someone comes from here and it's like, oh, and like comes to scare me, it'd be like, oh shit, you scared me. And but you, the viewer, would be like, yeah, but how did Jay not see the guy? He's right there. Because the guy didn't exist until he entered the frame.
Yes.
And it's this sort of mentality of, this is the world that it exists. So it's like, it's for our benefit. Like we're absorbing this world in the way that they're presenting it to us. So it's like, the world is not ready to reveal the killer. So
yes,
they're going to have a mask, or they're going to, so it's kind of neat. It gives a weird feeling if you haven't seen any of these before. Like, you guys are kind of working back. Actually, we're working backwards. Right? Yeah. Because Bird with the Crystal Plumage is after this. So we're working backwards. Which is, I don't know, kind of neat. I don't know what your thoughts are on going. I feel like working backwards is cooler in this case, because I think if this was the first movie I said for you to watch, you may have been like, oh, it's just like a mystery. I don't know. Like, I'm not sure like what you would have thought if we watched this one first, if this is the first one you watched.
I for me personally, I would have been like, cool, let's get into some more.
Yeah. I enjoyed this one. I enjoyed it. Like, it was it like you said, there was a few of the things missing from Crystal Plumage and Tenebrae, a few of the core tropes of the Giallo movies, but it was still a good movie. And like I said, it kept you engaged. There, even the scenes that were a little slower, there were still things happening that you needed to know. So you didn't really want to like lose your focus on it. during those, and they didn't like impose upon themselves and like overstay their welcome. Like you'll see in some movies, like a scene will like do all it needs to do, and then it goes on for like another 10 to 15, maybe 20 seconds, and you're like
Rock and Roll Nightmare. The entire
like,
movie of Rock and Roll Nightmare. No.
what is this? Like anything after Night of Living Dead Part 2.
And like a lot of modern movies are like that.
They can't edit themselves. This is an hour and 28, 29, so just under 90 minutes. And I feel like there's a lot of mystery that was solved. You've got your red herrings. I've never seen the cop come in and arrest all the suspects. You're sitting there like, oh, usually there's one red herring. He's like, well, it could be you because you're just weird. It could be you because you're shady. It's like, where were you two guys? Your alibis don't check out. It's like, fuck it, arrest them all. You're like,
everybody, like all of them. And then they're trying to figure out who was driving the car, and then all of them were driving the car at one point or another.
At one point, right? That was awesome because he knew where the alarm was, and he did.
Yeah.
I love it.
That was a cool scene. And there were good scenes like that throughout the movie. I was just like the one model, which one was it? She was like, I'm going to it was the one with the short brown hair.
Short black hair,
yeah. She was like, I'm going to Paris. And the guy, I love how they do this in movies. Like, he's like, come in, and then he acts like he's reading the magazine all of a sudden.
Yeah, that's great.
I'm like, and it's weird seeing desks in movies with no computers. It's like you watch a movie from like the early 80s, 70s, and back, and there's like no computers on the desk. It's like, what did people do at their desk before there was a computer? You know, like we're all of a certain age, so of course we know. But it's just like you see it now, and it's like somebody younger watch this movie. It's like they're gonna be like, "Where's the computer?"
Right? Yeah. Why isn't he computer on there? Wouldn't this be easier? What But you knew once they arrest those guys, and then there's still a murder.
Yep.
You're like, oh shit, that's pretty good. Right. So did you guys know that there was going to be, again, you've seen all of it. There's two murderers in Tenebrae. There was a woman in Bird. This one had a man and a woman. Mm-hmm. Did you guys call that or?
I didn't.
No. Okay.
No, I didn't call it. I was I was wondering, just like was wondering if they were going to do that, but nothing in the movie was pointing me to that.
Yeah, it really wasn't part of the story until it had to be. Like once they arrested those 5 guys, that guy's like, oh, if the killings stop, then obviously they're going to know it's one of us. And it's not going to be that hard to look into the pasts of everybody. So he's like, he got his girlfriend to go and kill while he was there. And then even the detective's like, well, I guess I'm the alibi because I saw all these guys arrested. Yep. So now I'm the alibi. So the killer's still out there. And then I was thinking, because I didn't see this would have been the most recent one I had watched because I'd only got the Fulci movies and the Dario Argento movies. I have Bay of Blood. I have a few like Mario Bava movies, but I never had Blood and Black Lace. And then it came out on Blu-ray, so I got that. So it was a newer one that I'd watched because everything else I saw on DVD. So I was still stunned that I've seen I've seen like 40 of these movies, and I was still like, oh shit, there's another killing. I'm like, that's pretty cool. And then I was like, oh, it's the woman. That's awesome. And then it was the two of them together. I was like, oh, that's great. And when you watch it again and scrutinize, you can see she's different. Like she's like trying to drag the bodies and all this crap. And it's like, oh yeah, that was cool.
Yeah, I liked the reveal that it was it was the two of them, and I had a feeling like when they were like in the bed and she was celebrating, and he's like, no, we can't celebrate yet, and the cops still want their murder and stuff. Right. I had a feeling if they were gonna do the thing where two can keep a secret if one of them is dead type of thing. Yep. And so I did like that. It was a good twist. It was.
He actually, his plan was genius. He sends her out to kill, and then they capture her, or she dies or whatever. And then they're like, well, she was there at the scene of the crime. She's got the coat and mask and all that. So there you go. It's all wrapped up and she's dead and I'm home free. Sometimes when there's like, when the plan is intricate, and this is a weird thing with horror movies, and because we've all seen so many, you start to somewhat like, not want to say identify with the killer, but you're almost kind of like, ooh, I wonder if he's going to get away with this. This is kind of weird. Like it's like Dial M for Murder, like the Hitchcock one. It's like the plan is so intricate that you're kind of like, I almost want him to get away with this because it's just like, it's such intricate planning and you want it to succeed, but you're like, it's not going to, obviously.
I know. Why is that? Why do we do that? Like, yeah, it happens when like the planning is so good and it's like, you kind of root for the bad guy.
Yeah, you want him to get away with it.
Why do they do that to us?
I always root for the bad guy. Let's be honest.
Well, no, but it's an old movie trick. They do this all the time. And the what's it called in Silence of the Lambs? Same thing. You never see Hannibal Lecter is an actual piece of garbage, shit, human being, trash character. He's a complete piece of garbage. However, in that movie, you don't see him actually do anything really bad to anybody. You don't see the bad things that he's done. So you're kind of excited for him. Like, well, this guy's pretty cool. He's like a guy, he's like interacting with her, and he's like Clarice and all that. Like, oh, this is a really cool character. Meanwhile, Buffalo Bill, you're like, well, this guy's a disgusting piece of garbage. Yeah. But actually, Hannibal's way worse than Buffalo Bill is.
Yeah.
Right? It's a movie trick. And you're sitting there thinking, oh man, Hannibal's going, you're buying little Funko Pops and getting t-shirts. Like, do you realize that Hannibal Lecter is the worst like villain of all time? And like you're pumped up for him.
Like, what the heck? Like, we've all been mind
yeah, right, yeah. But it's not even like Jason or Freddy. Like Freddy looks cool, right? Like, let's face the facts. Obviously, Michael Myers looks cool. You buy toys of him. Yeah. Freddy's a great action figure. He looks cool. He's got the claw.
Funny. His one-liner.
He's funny, right? And he's killing off a lot of useless. For the most part, they're useless people. They're not. They don't deserve to die. Sorry, but they're goofy. But it's like he looks cool, so he's an iconic look, or Pinhead, or any of these guys. But when it's like a normal person, like Hannibal Lecter, he's just a regular guy and he's a complete piece of garbage. And actually that show, I know, Trina, you've been reviewing those. And I love that series. And Mads is fire. Like, I would say he might be the best version of this character.
He is phenomenal.
He is, yeah.
So good.
He is so good. And you're like, God damn, I'm rooting for this piece of garbage. It's like, but so, this is the way he's, but see, this killer was cool too. Like okay, first of all, everyone is smoking, and listen, smoking is cool. I've never smoked anything. I don't smoke. I don't do it, but it looks so cool. And the women are all smoking, and they just look cool smoking. The guy's smoking, and they're sitting there talking, and the cigarettes are going, and you're like, yeah, this guy's just like a cool guy. He's got the woman with him. It's like, listen, go kill this. Go kill someone for me. Go do it. Okay. Yeah. So he's controlling everything, right? So he's not going to win in the end, but
no.
Yeah.
It was funny too, because like when the killer grabs one of the women, it's like me and the wife are, of course, we're sitting there watching, right? And he's slapping the shit out of that one. I'm like, God damn, did she burn the pot roast? This is 1964.
Yeah.
Like I was like, she burned dinner. He came home from a hard day at the office. He still got his fedora and his trench coat on. Hi, honey, what? Dinner was burnt. It's like that. It just reminded me of that episode of South Park. He's like, oh, I'm slap happy, slapping you, slapping you, slapping you, slapping you. I'm like, oh my God. Because like when she gets up off the couch, he's like, whop, he punches her, and then he just commences to slap the shit out of her, and then drags her around the fucking room. He's like, did he even knock her out? I'm like, he slapped her about 6 times, but I was like, I don't know if that first shot KO'd her or not. He's not Mike Tyson.
Yeah. There's actually a lot of, like, I don't know what to call it, killer action, like in the sense of like you're watching him do a lot. I feel like he's doing a lot more. Like you're like, oh, he's carrying her to another place, and it's like, oh, he hears, oh shit, the cops are coming. Okay, pick her up, pick her over. You're like, normally there's a kill, even with Jason or Michael. There's a kill, and then that's the end of it. You don't really see them walking around afterwards or continuing on doing things like you'd see the kill and that be the end of it. But in this movie, he kills the girl, goes out, gets in her car, turns the car on, drives past the guy at the gate, and you're like, oh, there's what? He's like, we wouldn't see that. It would just cut. She's dead. And you assume he got away clean.
Yeah.
But in this one, you see, it's like, oh, someone just fucking saw him right there. Well, he's got the mask, so I guess that helped in that sense. But like, someone just saw him, and then it's like he's carrying her around. Like you would think, oh, he just placed the body. Like something will happen later, and you'll see, oh, he placed the body there, like in Friday 13th or something. There's a dead body. Oh shit, there it is. But you saw him carrying her around, and you're like, okay, so this guy picked her up, and then the cops come. Like literally, it's like it's like Benny Hill or something. It's like he goes up the stairs, and then like here come the cops from the side.
I should re-edit that scene with the Benny Hill music. It's like either that or Scooby Doo. Where are you?
Scooby,
They go in one door and out the other. Yeah,
they come over. It's like, oh, where did he go? He's right there. He says he just went up the stairs.
I would have gotten away with it too. It wasn't for you meddling kids.
Yeah. Well, she calls she. I mean, like, I guess, like, she outdid him at the end there. But like, I love when he even comes back, and this is a trope too. He thinks she's dead. It's like, I'm not dead, honey. Oh, damn it, my plan didn't work.
Yeah, because he came back in the room, and I was like, as soon as he pulled that revolver out and he left it there, I'm like, that's his undoing, right there. That's it.
Right. Yeah. This is not the first horror movie you've seen.
Yeah. I'm like, you pull a deadly weapon out and leave it, and don't take that. That motherfucker's getting used on you. I can't remember.
I'll just leave this here. Yeah, it's fine.
We were watching the movie, me and the wife, and the one girl. It was a girl, and she's like, oh, or I can't remember if it was a girl or a guy, but they're like, oh. And they get out. They have a 44, like a 357 sitting in the passenger seat. And they get out, and I'm like, they're fucking dead. I'm like, they didn't take the gun. The gun's sitting right there.
Right,
like, I'm just get out of the car. I'm like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
So
yeah. You need to walk around with weapons. If you're in a horror movie, you must have weapons on you at all times. It's like, you didn't know you're in a horror movie, you idiot. Why didn't you take the gun?
Stay strapped or get clapped.
I think like the thing is that the girls in this movie, they are, I don't want to say they're frail, but like, they're models and stuff. So it's like, they're not going to really be equipped to fight back that much. And this guy's pretty rough, right?
And there's some, like, on that note, I like something that they did in this movie when all the girls are in like the modeling room, like backstage, and they're waiting for like the men to come back. And I think it was Greta or one of them said, I wish the men would come back because we're women and we're left all alone. And I just loved that. You know what I mean? Like I just loved that.
Because they were allowed to be vulnerable.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, it doesn't mean you're strong or weak. The fact of the matter is that obviously that guy who is pretty big can overpower any one of them. Now, maybe if there's a bunch of them together, but that's why you see even at the end when the one girl's like, "Oh, I'm going to go to Paris," and he's like, "Oh, perfect. If we kill her, if I get rid of her, no one's going to know about it because they're going to say, oh yeah, she got tickets to go to Paris or whatever. So she's an easy target, an easy victim. Send it after her, and she's alone." And even that other girl's like, "Oh, I want to stay with someone." It's like, nah. I you know what? It's funny. I like that where it's like, "Oh, can I come to your place?" She's like, "No, I don't want you at my place. Like, I'm good." It's like, I just live right here, and then it's like, okay. That was pretty. It's not something you would have seen. Like it would have been like, oh yeah, no, let's come and be together, right? And then, the killer would have to dispatch them both by some lame thing like, oh yeah, I heard a noise, and then they split up, and whatever. There wasn't any of the slasher. I guess slasher really hasn't really been really invented yet. It's a toss up. Is Bay of Blood the first slasher? Is Black Christmas is up there? That's pretty early on. I don't know what the first one is. Maybe Bay of Blood is considered, which is Mario Bava, but they didn't have any of the, let's split up and be like, she comes home and it's like, he attacks her. It's like that other girl, he attacks Isabella right there in the forest. He goes to their house and gets in and just kills them right there. There isn't a lot. There's a little bit of stalking. The one girl gets stalked a little bit where she's walking around, and there is a little bit of stalking, but not a lot.
Yeah, that was a funny scene with Isabel in the very beginning of the movie because she gets out of a taxi and then has to walk like another 10 miles. I'm like,
what are you doing? Yeah.
Why the fuck didn't the taxi take her to the motherfucking house then?
The Uber driver.
she's got to walk over a hill and through Dale to fucking get. There's an old fucking Jesus.
Leave a bad review.
Yeah,
one out of 5. Guy didn't drop me off at the friggin'.
That's a bad Yelp review right there. One day I'm gonna write about this on Yelp. You're not gonna live to write about this on Yelp.
Yeah, that guy was not too worried about that negative review. He's like, you're not gonna make it, lady. So it's
get
fine.
out of the car. What are you doing? What's the matter with you?
Get out, yeah.
What's the matter with you?
But I 6 deaths that were pretty much on screen and pretty decent. 1964, good camera shots, pretty solid story, good mystery, a couple of red herrings. I mean, a little bit of a twist without being a crazy out of the blue twist, like a Shyamalan twist where you're like, whoa, right? That's unforeseeable. And the twist came out of a necessity, not out of a plot contrivance. It's like, he's captured, the killings have to go on to make it look to clear him, so that murder's an alibi, saying, well, someone was murdered and I've been sitting in this prison, so obviously it's not me. So it's like, and the fact that the first murder was something that, if it was played differently and he's like, oh, Isabel was this evil woman, look at her diary, she was blackmailing this person and giving drugs to this person and treating this girl like crap, right, and doing all this stuff, and it's like, oh, and then it finally broke me, I couldn't pay this anymore, and we got into an argument and I killed her. He could have gotten out of that if that was, sort of, right, try to get out of it that way, but like instead it just railroads into all these murders. And then he turns the woman into a murderer, and then that completely changes her. Because even when she discovers the body, she's like, okay, it's one thing for me to discover the body and be like, oh my God. And, even though I knew it was going to be there, now I'm going out and killing. And it's like, you forced me to do that. Right. So now like she's tarnished. And now it's just like both of them are destroyed. That is, so it's still kind of a film noir, but just shot in a weird way. And the kills are a little bit more, more extreme, I guess. I don't know if if someone in 1964 is sitting in this movie saying, "Oh my God, this is like the Terrifier for us," right? Like, what is happening? This is so shocking. That was the goriest thing I've ever seen. It was blood everywhere, because people said that for Texas Chainsaw. I think he chainsaws the one guy Franklin. He chainsaws Franklin. That's the only chainsawing there is, and the rest of it, there's no blood at all.
Yeah,
you're like, it's just in your mind, right?
Yeah, it's like so I think it's like the Overton window of horror has shifted dramatically since horror Bruce came out. So now we're at Terrifier levels,
right? Now Terrifier 3 is like, it was okay there. It wasn't as bad. It wasn't as gory as I thought it was going to be. It's like, what are you talking about?
Whereas we start off with something like this movie, where it's like, oh yeah, it's basically just a thriller or like film noir.
This is like a kid's movie. I mean, well, Walking Dead. The thing is, if you're a Friday 13th fan from day one, it's like they were cut to hell, and you're thinking, dude, Friday 13th part whatever one is the worst one is nothing compared to where we are at to say that movie was cut. Like, I remember Jason Goes to Hell, which is a poopy movie. However, the kills are absolutely bonkers. And I remember seeing that thinking, what in the hell? Like, this is beyond anything. And now Jason Goes to Hell's like, yeah, that's like, yeah. Sure, there's some good. It's like there's some good kills. I thought there was a couple of good ones. Like, that's the review of it, right?
I haven't watched Jason Goes to Hell in 15 years or better, probably. I mean, and I've got the Blu-ray because I got the Screen Factory. Yeah. So I've just never freaking watched it, And I watched, like I said, the 2009 one about 3 times last year. Because we reviewed it again. I said, maybe I was a little rougher on it than I should have been. And I was. I admitted that. I can admit when I'm wrong. But I thought I was wrong once, but I was mistaken.
Right. Right. No, I don't care. I watched Jason Goes to Hell. I see Jason Goes to Hell like 100 times. I just watched all these movies 100 times just because it's like it's Jason. So I'm like, oh, I gotta watch it. Plus, I got the Jason Goes to Hell poster. I got it before I'd seen the movie because the poster looked really cool. And then I saw the movie. I was like, oh well, this isn't really Jason, but oh well, whatever.
Right.
But yeah, this movie, I don't know how shocking this would have been Like would this have been like, oh, this disgusting Mario Bava like needs to stop making films and this is offensive?
Yeah,
probably.
Yeah, I bet they did for sure. Back in '64, because that's when. Well, I was thinking of we had like James Bond back then. I think cinema in general was pretty wholesome still for the most part, wasn't it?
Yeah, I'm trying to look at like, I mean, because even if you go horror back then, like horror was mostly fantasy. Like fantasy horror almost was like one thing. Like a lot of these horror movies, like the Universal monsters and stuff, it's almost more like a fantasy element to it, right? It's that they're like they're scary monsters in the way like a troll would be scary or whatever. Like all of these characters are just fantasy characters, but made human, and then the slasher characters are the Universal monster characters, right? So it's like Jason is really Frankenstein, Freddy is Dracula or whatever. So it's like they just took those characters and then just made them more. I don't know what's happening now. I feel like I kind of lost touch with exactly what's going on. Like I can't trace the roots of like Art the Clown. It just feels like, oh, he's just like a crazy guy. But going way back, like I remember my friend's dad. He saw Gojira in 54 in the theater, and he's like, they were terrified. They're like, holy shit, what in the hell are we watching? This is crazy. And they're walking out saying, wow, my mind is blown, like this is insane, right? And that was scary. That would have been scary to them because Godzilla, he was treated as an actual threat, like, you know, not like, you know, now, you know, later he became like a hero, but like they were scared. Even for Jaws, people were legit scared of the ocean. I'm watching Jaws. I'm like, this is like a super little kiddie movie. I love Jaws, but I'm like, this is like a little kiddie movie. Nothing happens. It's fine. But like back then you're like, wow, this is like scary as hell. Like,
oh yeah. Tons of people were scared of the water after Jaws.
Yeah.
Even I was. We had a pool, and I was like, I don't want to go in the pool. There's going to be this Jaws is going to be in there.
That was me. That was me going out in the lake, and my parents had to explain to me that sharks can't live in fresh water. And I'm like, are you sure there's nothing in here? You know, you see those old movies of the giant octopuses and shit. I'm like, what about octopus? Same thing. They can only live in the ocean. I'm like, are you sure? Yeah, that shit was, as a kid, that's scary because you don't know any better. You know, it's new. Everything like that is new. You know, so that can be terrifying. And I'm sure at the time there was a sect of the population that was unsettled by the violence, especially given we just came out of the 1950s. I mean, and we're into the 60s now, which I don't know if the whole like women's empowerment movement of the 60s had started yet, but then you complain about, oh, well, the puritanical, the violence against women on film. And it's like, you do realize it's make-believe, correct? Like it's not, you know, done with malice, it's entertainment. Right. That's the thing that got me about the whole, like I said, the puritanical outrage towards the slashers like Jason Voorhees. It's misogynistic. I'm like, is it though? Like, is it really? Like, can you really quantify that? Because yes, he does kill a lot of women, but Jason kills everybody. Like, he's
equal opportunity slasher.
and the reason he kills women is because we need pretty women to show their tatas in the movie, because it's a slasher, which has to have gratuitous tatas in it, you know? So, there's a reason for that. And like I said, these actresses are all above the age. Except the girl in Friday the 13th part, Sandra. She was like 17, I think, when she was in that. So, but you understand the central theme. They're all of age. They're all being financially compensated for their roles, even if they don't show skin. They're still being compensated to play a part in a movie where they are not really being hurt. They're not being exploited. It's not a Russ Minor movie. So, I mean, there's a reference. but no, I mean, that whole, like, I like Siskel and Ebert were two of the biggest spearheading that movement, the anti slash.
They hated Final Chapter. Their review is hilarious. I've watched the review about 7 or 8 times. I love it. It's so funny. It's a reprehensible piece of garbage, and it's the highest grossing movie. I love it. I love the review of it. Well, these girls.
Did that review? Siskel and Ebert?
Ebert did. Ebert was primarily the one who, usually there's one guy that introduces it, and then the next guy gives his comments afterwards.
Because they hated horror so much.
Yep.
Pretty much.
Horror snobs.
Yeah, I think they liked Halloween Part 1. They liked Swamp Thing, which is not really a horror movie, but they liked Swamp Thing, and Ebert liked Return of the Swamp Thing. So it was weird. Sometimes they liked Siskel liked Mortal Kombat. I remember there's like a few weird anomaly movies where like, you guys like this one? That's interesting. But for horror, I think they like Halloween Part 1. I think that's like out of the slashers, that like might be the only one. You should read Ebert's review of Phantasm 2. You read the review, you're like, oh my God, this movie sounds awesome. Then he's like, yeah, it's not very good. I'm like, you made it. He's like, every scene in this movie is about death and nihilism, and I'm like, this makes it. And I was like, oh, this sounds great. And he's like, oh, I'm giving it 2 stars. I was like,
sign me up.
Sign up for that. The girls in this movie, same thing. It's like any other slasher, right? Like it is the women getting nailed. Yeah. There's a story behind it, though.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I mean, there is. Are we gonna get in trouble if I say there is only 2 options to kill human beings? There's either a male option or a female option. There is only 2 options.
Yeah.
Doing these movies, so it depends on what the story is. And if you look at Dario Argento, got massively attacked for this kind of stuff, and they mentioned in Tenebrae with that woman, with the lesbian woman, Porter, who literally like confronts the character, and that's Argento. Literally putting the words in her mouth that have been said to him that she says to him. And it's like, yeah, but there's usually a female who wins at the end. Final girl, right? It's almost like they're warning you, saying that yes, the women would be more vulnerable because typically they wouldn't be as strong, but it's almost a warning. Like if you're a good person and you're pure and whatever, you will survive the evil. So it's more of a positive message or whatever. And for the guys getting killed, the guys usually just get killed because they're all assholes. Yeah. And it's actually making the men look stupid. They're either completely stupid or idiotic, or they're just jerks.
Yep.
So their depiction the depiction of the men in the movies is worse than the women usually, because the men are usually the aggressors or they're idiots or jerks, and then they get killed. Yeah. So they're getting killed too. And the only one that wins is the purest person in the movie, which is usually a female.
A final girl.
Right. Final girl. That's where that came from. So like getting upset over this is like getting upset over anything. You could say, I don't know, any like action movies can get attacked. It's like, oh yeah, like, there's an invasion. Oh, look, it's the X, whatever country is invading. Yeah. Oh, while you're well, okay. I mean, whatever. Like this is I'm offended by. So I watched Godzilla movies, and as a kid, I never noticed any white people in any Godzilla movies. Therefore, I should not watch them. I don't understand what you're saying. It's like Godzilla's in Japan, so yeah, it's all Japanese people. I didn't see any black people in any Godzilla movie that I can think of, and I've seen them and own them all. So getting upset, like, I mean, I don't know what to say. Like, what are you getting upset for? Like, don't watch the movie then.
That's the beautiful thing, and we're 3 people with firing synapses. So it's like, if I don't like something, unless I'm reviewing it, I'm not going to watch it. I'm just going to act like it doesn't exist. Like I'm done complaining about, oh man, they race swap this. I don't care.
I know.
I feel like, what is that? John Coffey in The Green Mile. I'm tired, Bob.
I'm tired, Bob.
Yeah.
I can do the voice because my voice isn't back to normal yet, so I can do the Michael Clark Duncan voice.
Oh, that's yeah. Yeah, I mean, getting upset over things, it's like, I mean, I'm only upset if I'm upset. Like, I'm not like, and then where does your okay, so if you go back just to, I know it's a hot topic now, the Snow White thing, just as a random everyone's upset over the Snow White thing. It's like, why are you upset over Disney? Because Walt Disney named the dwarves. He changed that entire story. It has nothing to do with the Brothers Grimm original book. So go back to 1950 and you'll be like, hashtag not the Brothers Grimm Snow White. This is a shit, Technically, it's not. Technically, that's not the real Snow White either. So my response is that I don't really care about Snow White. So if they race swapped it, well, then I don't care anyways. And if it's going to bomb ass, so it'll bomb, and then that's the end of it. And then it's going to move, and then we move on. Yep. So the Disney's they either take the hint or they don't take the hint.
Yep.
I don't care. I care if it's something I care about. That's it. So if James Bond is a woman, I'm a James Bond person. I've read 11 of the 13 Ian Fleming novels. I own them all. I love James Bond. If they do that, then I will be angry at that because that is something I'm an expert on and love it. If they change something I'm not an expert on, then I don't know and I don't care anyways. All right.
Yeah.
That's my take on that.
And you're right, because you're not going to be outraged just for the sake of being outraged.
Right. Like
what is there to glean from that?
Right. I just took my blood pressure pill while we were talking, so I don't need an extra one.
Yeah, no.
I don't need an extra. I don't need to take anything extra. It's like, let me get all enraged over it. I don't care. Yeah, of course it's a shit movie. I don't need to tell you it's a shit movie. It's obvious. It sucks. But who cares? It's like, it's just gonna suck. Just like every other movie that comes out sucks anyways for other reasons. This one sucks for this reason. This one sucks for another reason. Whatever. I'm looking forward to that Jason Statham movie where he's I don't know. It's like he does one every year where he's the same character and just kills a bunch of assholes, and I end up liking all of them. I'm just gonna watch that movie whenever that comes out. I don't even know the name. Working Man. That's it. The Working Man or something like that.
I want to go see the what is it? The Death of a Unicorn.
Oh, I haven't.
With it's funny too because what the hell? The chick that played Wednesday is in it. Paul Rudd and her.
It's Jenna Ortega.
And Ortega, yeah.
Yeah. Death of a Unicorn.
Yeah, that'll probably be. I'll probably go see that one by myself.
Is there a unicorn in it that dies?
I think so. It's like I think they're violent though. I can't.
Spoilers.
No.
They're real unicorns because unicorns are more creaturey than cute or whatever. Yeah. I like The Last Unicorn. You like that cartoon? That was a great movie. That cartoon movie.
I've seen that one.
Trina, you've seen that, right? The Last Unicorn.
No.
What? That's a Trina. That seems like a little girl Trina movie. I feel like that's like your movie. I watched it as a kid. I've got it on DVD. It's a kid's cartoon, but I remember thinking it was really cool, and I bought it on DVD as an adult, so I still like it.
Last Unicorn. So is it Disney?
No, The Last Unicorn. Let's see. It is. Look it up. It looks a little bit more like anime style.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm looking it up right now.
Oh, it's Rankin. It's Arthur. So Rankin did. Oh God, I think he did the first Hobbit.
Yeah, Rankin Bass.
Yeah,
they did the Christmas movies like Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer and
those the claymation kind of ones or whatever. Yeah. So I tell you, this is my God. When you watch this, you're gonna say, "I wish I'd watched this as a little girl," and then you would have had the Last Unicorn tattooed or something, or I don't know. I feel like this is a Trina. I can't say for sure. I don't know you super well enough, but like I've got the Last Unicorn Trina feel.
Do I come across as sweet and like all of that stuff?
No, I'm getting you like quality things, and if they happen to have something cute in it that's of quality at being a woman, you would like that. That's the way I'm thinking, because I liked it as a boy, so I was thinking I was thinking like girls would like. It's like Labyrinth. Do you like you like Labyrinth, right?
Yes.
Yeah, there you go. So I would have said, if you would have said I've never seen Labyrinth, I'd be like, that's a Trina movie guaranteed, right?
Yeah.
Jennifer Connelly is in a giallo. She's in Phenomenon with Donald Pleasance, Dario Argento, Donald Pleasance, Jennifer Connelly. I just got that on 4K. It's like right there.
My the promoter I work for, we were talking about these because him and his girlfriend watch at least one of them every weekend, and her and I we're pretty good friends. We were talking about Suspiria. She said that one's her favorite. Yeah. I'm like, I know. I was like, I've heard so much good about that. It's like I'm stoked about that one. That's another one that I'm excited to watch.
People have been asked. So in my Facebook group, people throw this one out all the time, Inferno. So this is part 2 of Suspiria, but it's not really. like it's whatever. It's like this is a good one. And then some of the other ones that this one is thrown out all of the time. And if you look it up, Deep Red. This is Dario Argento.
Okay.
This is thrown out all. It's like this is the king. Like they're like this is the king Giallo movie. Period. Like this is the best one ever. I still really like Tenebrae, but I don't know. And then I just got Opera, and I just watched this, and I was going to suggest Opera, but then I didn't think the heroine was very. I thought she was kind of lame. She's very attractive, but she was very lame to me. And I thought, ooh, I don't know. I'm like, let's go with Blood and Black Lace. But this one, the kills are
Opera.
Yeah, the kills are awesome. But the director's cut is way too long. I'm like watching because I never saw the director's cut, so I bought this 4K and I thought, and this is one of these where you open up and there's like 7 discs, and I'm like, I don't. So do you feel sometimes that like okay, I just which one's the movie? Like I just want the movie. Like I don't like
right. I don't need 8 different commentaries. Like one is enough. Like give me one bonus feature, some deleted scenes, a trailer. I'm fucking happy. That's all I need because I'm never gonna watch all that.
Yeah, when am I watching all of it? Like it's like one of these. So I opened it up and was like, okay, I don't know what to watch. I'm like, I just took whatever disc was there. I put it in. I was like, oh, director's cut, cool. Too long, way too. It was an hour and 40 something minutes. I'm like, that is too long for these movies. It needs to be 90 to 100 minutes. Yep. Anything else, it's like, yeah, let's wrap this up, people. It's not that good. This ain't Lawrence of Arabia. We can wrap this sucker up. Like, and the other one I got it's Giallo kind of. This is a weird movie. Lizard in a Woman's Skin. This is a down the line.
Okay.
Like once you've seen enough, and you could watch this and be like, this is really weird. This one, they took the Lucio Fulci to court because there is a scene in here. It's only like a few seconds of a shot. Don't look it up though, because if you look it up, it'll show that scene. And people thought it was real, and they were disgusted beyond hell. And when I had seen it, so I own this on DVD, and I got this is 4K or Blu-ray. It's either 4K or Blu-ray. And I threw this in. I was like, man, yeah, it does. Like it's fake. Like you're like, this isn't real. But untrained eye, back 30 years ago or 40 years ago, like you're like, oh, that's looking pretty gross. And I can tell. So I don't know Trina for sure well, but she will not be happy with that with the scene in question. But it's not real. They replicated it. They had to show in court how they did it to show the people that it wasn't real. So anyways, but hey, Keely Chow.
What up, Keely?
Hi, Keely. Hey, Alan from Grave Reviews.
Alan.
Hey.
Alan. We got to get Alan. We got to get Alan in the gang. We got to get the band back together. It's been a while when we can coordinate that.
Yeah.
But dude, yeah, these movies are absolutely like this one, like I said, this was kind of bonkers, but it was fun. The characters, there were like the police scene we were talking about with them all with the car thing.
Yeah,
that was a chance for them to flex as characters, like as much as they could for the time. Like character actors, like you could tell, like just the look of like the little guy was like the best. I was like,
he's awesome. Yeah.
He reminded me of Butchie from The Sopranos. If
I haven't seen Sopranos.
Trina, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
What was his name? The Shah of Iran, Phil Leotardo's number 2. I was like, is that fucking Butchie as a young man? I was like Butchie, but no, I dug this one. We may as well go ahead and score it. J-Man, you go ahead, bro.
Oh God, I this is like, again, these movies, it's like they're just part of like my I don't know. I'd probably give it like a 9 out of 10 or something. Like, I mean, I can't really think of too many. I mean, I'm close to saying just 10 out of 10 just for the uniqueness and the year of it. So yeah, I'll just give it a 10. Whatever. I'll shill for it. I don't care. It's like Jello shill alert. Oh my god! I'm so shocked at everything.
That's okay. We're fine with that.
Yeah, I'll give it a 10.
There's certain movies I'm like that with. Trina, go ahead.
All right. So that would be 3 out of 5. I mean, 4 out of 5 for him.
Well,
I'm going to say 5 out of 5.
5 out of 5.
Just
5 out of 5.
5 out of 5.
Okay.
Shill.
All right. Full shill alert. All right. So I think I'll do. This one's tough. I'm gonna. I'll say 4.
4.
Yeah.
All right, Trina's is a 4 or 5, so that just leaves me. This one, like I said, this is not, it's not Tenebrae, but it's you look at it, it's made in 1964, and it had a really cool concept that I thought was executed well. A lot of cool experimental camera shots. Nice little swerve with the 2 killers at the end. Yeah, they had the who got shot. Was it her or him? Kind of deal. Which was as soon as I heard that gunshot, I'm like, yeah, he took one in the gut.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Yep, because the gun was gone when he came back. So I'm gonna go 4.5 out of 5 on this one.
Nice.
I'll go 4.5 of 5. I really enjoyed it. There hasn't been any of the 3 of these now that we've done that I haven't enjoyed thoroughly. So yeah, this was cool. This was cool. So J-Man, thank you for the recommendation, bro.
For sure, man. It's great talking about these because I don't think there's too many people talking about them. Number 1, but number 2, it's like it's unique, right? Like, yeah, because of the weird, maybe it's just because it's Italian or whatever. Just like everything is just so weird about them all. Like they're all kind of weird. And even 1964, it's like they did a lot of pretty cool stuff for 1964 that you'd be like, wow, like you can see where this is the seed now that's going to make this. A Bird with the Crystal Plumage is the big one. Like this one was we've started, and then Bird is the holy shit, like what's going on? This is crazy. And then that's the start of the phenomenon. But this is I like these proto ones, like this pre-Friday the 13th. Like what were they doing before Friday the 13th and Halloween and all that? So.
Yeah.
But anyway,
I love awesome. That. Yeah, I gotta say my favorite part of the movie was how they stylized the killer. It's so film noir. I love he looks just like The Question. I love that. And just like the whole movie really does feel like noir. And I dig that. And the way that they have like the music through the movie, it's so it's great. I love it. I love the way that the girl's hair is styled. So 60s, and they're so stylish, and everybody looks good. Yeah, I like that. Yeah,
it was, and also with the era, everyone is wearing jackets and pants and ties, and like that's the normal wear. So it's kind of weird for a slasher-ish movie, and all the women are because they're models, so they're all dressed up nicely. Even when they're not modeling, they look really good. So because we're used to a lot of the teens, like you watch Friday the 13th, everyone's just in jeans or something. But like everyone here looks glamorous, and you're like, oh, I don't want her to die. And it's like and the bathtub, which you showed in I was gonna say that was my favorite kill scene.
Yeah, that was great.
Just because the way they shot it and the way that they showed and framed like her when she was underwater and her eyes, I was like, man, that was just a really fucking eye-catching scene and some really good 1964 cinematography.
And you can tell that the actress really does have her eyes open underwater. That must have been hard to do.
I can't do that.
I can't do it. I can't do it. Yep, can't do it.
Yeah.
No, I got goggles.
And that they had to do keep taking that wasn't just one shot. That took a while. So yeah, big props to her for pulling that off.
awesome. Almost made it to Paris. Just missed it by that much. No.
Yeah, she had her ticket. She was going to Paris. I was like, I know she died, and that's my first thing I said. I was like, well, I guess she ain't making it to Paris. Hope
Not going,
well,
he punched her ticket, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Telling you. She got
Awesome.
a one-way ticket to a pine box. But J-Man, you got anything coming up on your channel you want to talk about?
I stream Mondays and Fridays, so we're doing Batman. So right now every Friday is Batman, but that's almost coming to an end, and then it's going to be every Friday is going to be Star Wars comics, and then Mondays are Avengers or Legion of Superheroes, and then I just do my comic book reviews. So tomorrow's comic book day. I'll get a bunch of stuff and review it. And I've been reviewing that garbage Daredevil show as well. Ooh. So I'm the only one saying, well, one of the few people saying it's garbage because I'm the only person who tells the truth. So anyway, that's it.
Well, glad to have you back, bro. Glad to have you back, man.
Yeah, it's great.
Always a pleasure. Trina?
Yeah. All right. On my channel tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Eastern, Vinnieart and Vinnieart here on YouTube, and I will be reviewing episodes 10 and 11 of season 2 of Hannibal. And that's been a lot of fun. Looking forward to that. And then we've got the toy stream on Thursday, which I don't know if it will be showing on Tommy's, if he's back or not, but will be on Vinny's channel. And then Sunday on Vinny's channel, we are doing watch parties for Dexter. Season 1 will be, that was how we did episodes 1 and 2 of season 1 last Sunday. So we'll be doing 3 and 4 this coming Sunday. And that's about it.
Well, thank you, Trina, and thank you, J-Man. I don't know if I'm streaming anymore this week on the channel, but I've been spoiling you guys with videos. The Malibu Express video I put out like a week or so ago it's picking up some steam. I noticed.
Beautiful.
That's the beautiful thing about evergreen videos like that is you can just throw them out there and and it's fully monetized. Go get me views. Like the Andy Sedaris thing. Bring them back to me. But no, we might do something tomorrow night. But Patreon backers, you guys get Miami Connection tomorrow night. I have to go do the thing tomorrow night that I like to do. That's from this past Saturday night. That's me and Tate Manson right there. And in the ring, you see Steven Lyric and Maverick, and the bald guy is our manager. But yeah, that's us jaw jacking with the crowd.
That's awesome.
Yep. There's a few shots, and if you haven't seen them yet, this is from my first dark match back when I actually came out with the hockey mask on. This is from last month, me doing color commentary, which that episode, the Super Shogun YouTube channel link is in the description to the video. So you can go over there and subscribe, and all of the back catalog is over there. Here's this is our full team right here from Saturday night. That's what I wear down to. I just got to get my logo on my singlet yet. I'm waiting for my t-shirts to come in and my gang sheet so I can print everything. Because we'll have the Pete Daddy Dollar t-shirts available. And I'll be printing the Wrestling with Horror t-shirts myself from now on. So if you guys want those, you order them directly from me. You get them directly from me. That's how we're going to do it from now on. But yeah, that's me. That's Maverick, Tate Manson, and Steven Lyrics. So that was a fun time. It was a good night, man. We had a great match, had a lot of fun. But yeah, there's videos coming out. I'll have another wrestling video out probably tomorrow. I'll be breaking down something from Monday Night Raw, and I might go back and watch NXT tonight so I can watch Julia and Stephanie Vaquer because that is going to be an absolute fucking banger that Dave Meltzer can't even ignore because he's an idiot. But yeah, anyway, folks, that's the show. Next week, I think we're going to I've been talking to our good friend Tyler Wooten, and Trina, you remember Tyler? We might get Tyler and Jason back.
Yeah.
So,
cool.
Yep. And I've been trying to reach out to Brandon from Smith's Grove Sanitarium. I haven't heard from him in ages. His YouTube channel's kind of been not active. So I'm trying to reach out to him, and Alan and Chris from Grave Reviews are going to bring them back on. Tony's going to come back when we do Nosferatu. We'll be doing another Giallo movie with J-Man very soon. So a lot coming up on the horror front here, folks. Thank you, Keely Chow, Bone, Frankie Knows, Grave Reviews, Tree Rock, Joe Dog, Parrot Head. Thank you all for being here, hanging out with us, and those of you watching on the playback. Hope you enjoyed. I am Pete Daddy Dollar from Wrestling with Horror. If we don't see you, have a great day, a pleasant tomorrow. We'll catch you on the next one. And remember, it's always better to burn out than fade away. Patreon.